record this, we can be able to support those families that were not able to make it. But welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me share my screen so that we can be able to move forward. All right, let me see if I can get this right now, y'all, with technology. I think I can. Okay, I think I got it. So I'm going to go ahead and start with presenting. Again, thank you so much for coming out. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, but first I want to learn more about you. So in the chat, I want you to answer this question. My favorite thing to do with my children is, so go ahead and type in the chat, what are some of your favorite things you love to do with your children or child? Again, this is an opportunity for me to get to know a little bit more about you. So go ahead and participate. I will try to read some of these messages as they come, but what are some of the activities you like to do with your child? Let me see. Can you all actually type to me, or did I block that? I might have blocked it. That's probably why you guys can't type back. Okay, here we go. Okay, thank you, Mr. John. Mr. John said you guys cannot type in the chat, so that is my fault. In the question answer piece, you should be able to type something there. Like if you have a question, you can put that in there. Somehow you all are not able to do the chat, which is fine. So you can put some thoughts there in there if you like. Oh, so Nina said travel. Okay, fantastic. We have some people in here saying they just love to relax at home, love to read and eat, YouTube videos and play together. Excellent. Watch movies, read. We got a lot of families that like to read. That's great. Of course, Miss Renee, who's our amazing reading specialist, she has read, read, read. I love it. I love it. Well, as we move forward, I hope to get to know more about you all and your families, because that is what we love to do. So playing video games, working together, traveling, relaxing, reading, going on nature walks, all this stuff is a part of our family. We're family. We are together every day. So in MMA, we really want to represent that. So we're excited. Welcome back. As we move forward, we want to talk about who I am and a little bit about my leadership style. As you all know, Miss Cheryl transferred out, but she is set me off with an opportunity to lead at MMA. She was an excellent leader there. As I move forward to work with you and your families, a little bit about me. I am married to Maurice Drawn, and we have one daughter named Marlena. She is going into the 8th grade. I love to listen to music and read as well. I enjoy spending time with my family and my faith. I'm big on faith and family, and for me, that's what sustains me. So we all have core values, what sustain you, and that's important as we learn to work together as a community. I have been in education for over 15 years. I started out as a dean of students, working with behavior and changing culture in the classrooms. And then for the last 2 years, I was working as a middle school principal. So I'm very thankful for this opportunity to be able to lead. I love to grow and develop families. I believe if there's a crisis, it equals an opportunity for growth. That doesn't scare me when there's challenges. I like to stand up to those challenges and work together with my team to make sure that we're all working together in the best interest of kids. So that's a little bit about me, and I'm excited about being here. So let's go right into it. I want to talk a little bit about our mission and our focus. Our theme this year at MMA, Macomb Montessori Academy, is ready to grow. You all know we've been in COVID for the last 2 years, 2.5 years, and it's been very hard. There's been a real disconnect between families and schools because families have not been able to come into the building, a lot of in and out of the classroom because kids test positive or they have families testing positive. So that really affects their community. So as we're ready to grow, our vision and our mission here is to build on that philosophy of creativity, to really focus on critical thinking skills in your students and foster that need that our students individually have their own goals. And it's our job to help them become lifelong learners, okay? And so this year, the vision statement that I really want to focus on, and so we have one for teachers and staff, the vision statement is this: I will develop and support my students to grow at MMA. So every staff that's on this webinar, And I have an amazing staff. I just literally got there in June, and they've been so supportive and so helpful for me as a leader. They're so passionate about what they do. They love your children. They love MMA. And it's just, I know they will help them grow. So that's our commitment to you all as parents. Parents, I want you to commit to this. I will support my student and MMA staff to help my student grow. So we need you. We cannot do this without parent support. And then the students, this is something they will learn when they come back in the fall, is we'll have morning announcements. And so every morning announcements will have some things that we'll be repeating. One of the things that we'll repeat is the vision statement. And they will say, I will try and work hard to grow every day. And so it's important that we're all working together, that we all take this short statement based on our mission statement and work towards that. That is our vision, and that is our thought for the year. We are Managed by Choice Schools Associate, and their mission is they partner with community schools to empower and equip us as MMA to fulfill our mission. And so they are an amazing support for us to be able to do what we do best, which is educate young people minds. So let me introduce you to the amazing team. I hope my phenomenal superintendent is on here. I'm sure she is. She's always there. Miss Carrie is our school superintendent. She has been working for Choice Schools a long time. She started out as a principal, so she really understands what it takes to run a school and to stabilize that school and to grow the school. So Miss Carrie is our school superintendent. Our board members are very involved. They meet once a month to really discuss the business of operation, finances, hold us accountable as a school. And I want that to be very clear. So we have 5 amazing board members that meet, that really work with us. And I work with them, with Carrie, to make sure that we're doing everything we can. So Jennifer, John, Emmett, Shanae, and Gerald is our board members. And then I want to introduce the amazing staff. First, Miss Michelle, she is director of Second Home, and she is also an assistant working with M&A. A lot of times when I'm not available, she's there, we work together. And she's been here a long time in M&A, and she's been a great resource. She runs our preschool program. So if you have some preschool babies, we are doing open enrollment at this time to make sure that we can start young. And so a lot of times I'm working with her kindergartens to come over. We have Miss Kelly, who's our office manager, Miss Ann, who's our academic coach, and Miss Wanda, who's our behavior specialist. And so that is kind of the core team that work together every day. And then we have our teaching team. I'm excited to announce to parents. I know last year there was a lot of teacher changes, and there was a lot of concern about what's going on and how we're going to handle things. Along with COVID and everybody coming back, it seemed to be confusion. Our job is to come in to grow. So we have really worked hard over the summer to stabilize staff. And I'm very thankful that staff has decided to really make this their mission to come back and stabilize MMA. So we are already at this time, for lead teachers and special teachers, fully staffed at MMA. You all know it's a teacher shortage now. MMA is fully staffed. Now we're still looking for teacher assistants, and we're going to continue to do that. But I'm excited. That is something to get excited about. We have Lauren, John, Kate, Wendy, Jennifer, Mr. O, Darnell, Latoka, Darlene, Tiffany, Tiana, Tanisha, Molly, Dominica. I got more people now. Chantel, let me make sure. Miss A, Miss Linda. Hold on, I got to go back. I'm missing some names here. We have a whole team, so let me go back and make sure I get everybody. Miss Linda, Mr. Mitch, Miss A, Miss Adrian, Miss Bailey. And then we have a support team at our school, which is that resource support that really help our students that may need additional support with academics and behavior. We have Mr. Ben, who's our school social worker, Lauren, Gail, Coach, who will be doing wellness, a lot of wellness activities with us today, Miss Teresa, and Renee. So I hope I didn't forget anybody. You know how you shouting people out? I hope I did not. I looked at this list several times, but I'm really excited for the team this year. They are excited. We are painting all the classrooms. We're cleaning all the carpet. We're updating materials. We're really excited to bring the students back to a very clean, upbeat, wonderful environment, because we want them to feel when they come in that building, that's their school. So shout out to the MMA team, and I'm excited about what they're going to do. They are amazing, truly amazing. So let's talk a little bit about experience and what's going on with me. A lot of training experience on culture and climate. Again, I was a principal and I spent a lot of time working with parents and teachers about creating a successful child. How do we do that, right? So that's a little bit about my experience. My goals this year as a leader, I think it's important that you understand my goals, because I'm going to push that down to the staff that I work with, is to stabilize and support our teachers. Our teachers are everything. They need support. They need to feel empowered to be able to go into a classroom and teach a young person's mind. And so that's my job, to empower them and to help them feel inspired to do so. My second goal is to build and promote positive culture and climate at MMA. Last year was a lot of behavior problems, not only at MMA, but all the schools across the country. When the kids were at home for 18, 19 months in and out, they got really comfortable at home. And then when they had to come back to school, there was some serious socialization issues. So I'm hopeful they all got it out. We're coming back with a fresh perspective, really setting that positive culture high, what we will tolerate, what we will not tolerate as it relates to disrespect and how we treat each other. My third goal is to increase attendance and academic growth for each student. Because COVID hit us, there was a lot of academic growth, academic loss, I should say. And so we do have students that need additional support for the academic loss they had. And so a lot of kids missed school last year for being out, a parent was sick. We're really trying to stabilize our attendance and because we need these kids to be there. And then finally build positive relationships with the families, the students, my wonderful teachers and staff. That is my goals. I'm about relationships. I have an open door policy. Call me, text me. I am there to support you and your family. Hopefully my staff know by now. I have only been there since June, but my door is always open. And I have that, let's figure this out together. I don't have all the answers. We're in this together. So those are my leadership goals, and I need you to be aware of that. I did want to show you the impact of COVID. I know that has came up over and over, but I want to be very clear. We're in a recovery stage. Because the kids were in and out of the classroom, our children around the country has lost learning. And so this is just a graph to show you over the 180 countries, because of schools that were closed online, and online learning is not for every child. That did impact a lot of students' learning. Because of the closures and stuff, students did not have an opportunity to learn. They forgot what they learned. So we're in recovery of learning. We have to recover that learning loss. And then there was transition with teachers because of the teacher shortage. There is no excuses for it, but we do have to find a way to make this connection so that we can move forward. We know COVID is not going anywhere, so we need to work together to make sure that our students' needs are being met. This is why it's a partnership between you and the teacher, parents, as well as myself and our school board. We have to work hard under the leadership of Carrie as our school superintendent to make sure we overcome this. All right. So a couple of things we're going to talk about tonight. I'm going to be right to the point, is we need your support. I'm going to talk about why Montessori, attendance expectation, behavior expectation, parent involvement, and just expectation of what to expect. All right. What do you expect the first day of school, the first week of school? How is MMA kind of rolling out the fall of 22-23? So we're going to go ahead and get started on that. So the first thing I want to talk about is why Montessori. This is Marie Montessori quote: "The greatest sign of a success for a teacher is to be able to say, the children are now working as if I did not exist." So the greatest sign of a successful teacher in a Montessori classroom is for a teacher to come in and you don't even know the teacher don't need to really teach that class because the kids are teaching themselves. So when we say Montessori, what does that mean? It's an education approach that gives the child the freedom to choose how they learn and teaches them to work independently. Montessori education is hands-on. All right, and I want to make that clear. It's a hands-on approach. Sometimes when you walk into the classroom or we send you information, you see kids working independently to critically think, figure it out. So some components to think about, parents, when you think about Montessori, and why I think it's such a powerful tool for our students is that, one, it does, promote independent work. So much in our traditional education, we always want to tell kids what to think. And then when you tell them to make a decision, they look at you like, what are you saying? What do you want me to do? We have to get to a point where we empower and inspire our kids to work independently on their own in their learning process. So they're taking responsibility. It's a freedom to work at their own pace. So even though they may not be at their grade level, they're working at their own pace, pulling activities and working with the teacher in small groups to try to figure out where they're at and so they can get where they need to be. It's a lot of sensory activity. So touch, movement, sight, sound, that is a lot going on. So you will see flexible seating in Montessori learning. You will see a lot of movement and talking and mats on the floor and conversations. You know, it's that self-direct study. So we do give an overall view of what we're going to learn today, objective, but we also give the students an opportunity to learn from themselves and to draw from their own critical thinking skills. And then finally, it's a peaceful environment. And what you will see, we try to create a classroom of care. And that's a goal of Ann and I. Miss Ann is our academic coach. And this year she's went as far as setting up like a mock classroom for the teachers to see the Montessori classroom environment, which we're so thankful for. So she goes in, she's been doing this a long time, Miss Ann, but she goes in and she's setting everything up so teachers can visually see what their classroom space should look like. So Montessori is important to us. We are a Montessori school, and we're striving every year to build our Montessori model. Are we 100% there? Not yet, but we have a plan to get there, and we want your input and your feedback, and we definitely need your support. Okay, so a little bit about our curriculum. This presentation will be put on our website, so it's okay if you, or it'll be on our YouTube channel, so you don't have to write everything down. But we do have our school specials. We will have gym and art and a learning intervention block. Because of our learning gaps and because students miss a lot of school and there was the COVID, we have to build in learning blocks so our kids can catch up on some of the learning they missed. So your students will have 3 specials: art, gym, and a learning block, where the reading and math specialists will work with them in small groups to help them build on those skills in small groups. No more than 3 to 5 students. We've hired 2 additional reading specialists, and we're working on hiring a math specialist. So we will have a small team with Miss Renee and Miss Ann and the teachers supporting your students. This is a big piece for us. The only way we can catch our students up is if we actually put in structured learning time to help our students build on those lost skills. We have to use the Common Core standard curriculum. So for each grade level, students are expected to know certain standards in order for them to go to the next level, which is the 2nd grade, the 3rd grade, and so on. So we do have a Montessori curriculum model that focuses on phonics awareness, obviously recognizing sounds and fluency, as well as math. And again, a lot of it is hands-on manipulative materials that they use. And it's important that we will share that information with you as we move into the school year, so you know exactly what we're doing. It's the same thing for science and social studies. We refer back to the North American Montessori Center. They have a lot of resources for us. And so we use those activities and tools to help our students. Things that we're going to push in is handwriting. Our kids need to work on handwriting. So you will see handwriting books this year. You will see a lot of online learning as it relates to iReady only. We are doing an iReady program, which is a learning adaptive program for 4th through 6th grade only. K through 3rd grade will still have the teacher hands-on communication. And so will 4th through 6th, because they'll be studying novels. They'll pick a book, they'll study, they'll learn about the vocab, have great discussions with their teacher. But we are pushing an iReady because it allows them to get on a computer, understand where they're at, and then they can practice on those skills that they may not have. Like if they're struggling with multiplication, they can practice with iReady independently. And you will learn more about these intervention programs for reading and math, but I just want to make sure you know all the curriculum support we're pushing in to catch up. Together. Our kids are very resilient. They will get there. We're also going to put in after school tutoring, where the older kids in particular, probably not till 2nd trimester, we push it kind of to the end to make sure that we see where our kids are at. So we're pushing in everything we can, because in order for us to stay open as a school, we have to show academic growth. The test that we take is NWEA, which is a map test. It maps out where our kids are at. It gives you an indicator where your kids are in reading and where your kids are in math. And each student needs to hit a 50% growth in math and reading. And so we have to take these assessments. Our authorizer, which is Lake Superior, I forgot to mention that. Thank God for our authorizers. They give us resources and a lot of tools to help that, but they also hold us accountable. And so we have to make some strides in that test taking and assessment. We take the M-STEP in the spring, and then we do a reading assessment, K through third grade, which I should have put in there, where kids are tested, kindergarten to third grade, to what are their letter sounds? How much do they know with their sight words? So these are assessments that we do in the fall, we do in the winter, and then we do in the spring. We only take the M-STEP in the spring. The point is that we have to be held accountable for the state. And so these are some school assessments that we are judged on. Sometimes I think judge is kind of a harsh word, but it's something that we're assessed on and we're held accountable for. So when I tell you as a school leader, I am pushing growth and that I am challenging my teachers and coaches and reading intervention to really take it up a notch, that's what we're gonna have to do in order to beat the loss of learning. So the second thing we wanna talk about tonight, and make sure you're writing your questions down, because as I'm talking and going over the presentation, please be ready to chat some questions in, and I'm going to do my best to answer. The number 2 thing we're going to talk about tonight is attendance. Students must come to school every day on time. Every day on time. Last year, we had well over 50% of our students that missed 10 days or more. And you say 10 days out of 180 days, that's not a lot, but it is a lot of learning. We need students here every day. The loss of learnings, they fall behind if they're not here and they cannot meet their academic goals. It is required that all students by the state of Michigan is in school. Now, I know COVID kind of threw us a wrench because the kids were at home. There was some flexibility. If they got sick, they went home for 10 days. There was a lot going on, but we're trying to stabilize education. So we really need our kids here every day. And that falls on you as a parent. What does that look like in your home organizing? Because absences add up. So if you have 18 days in a school, if you miss 18 days in a school year, just 18 days, or even 2 days every month, that equals less academic growth, which that means you're going to have a lower test score, some of the tests I talk about, and they're going to be more likely to be retained. If they cannot be in school and learning, it is very difficult for us to pass them along. It's nothing like being a student in class and you're excited to go to the next level, but when you get in there and you don't know the information, that's very frustrating for students. They melt down. That's when we have behavior issues. They're all over the place. So we need to combat that by them being in school so that we can give them all the tools they need so that they can feel confident in their ability to learn. And when they're only coming to school, half of the month, it's going to impact whether or not they can pass to the next grade, okay? We're always here. So what happens if you do have to miss school? Parents must call the school and let us know your student's going to be absent before 10 a.m. Would be helpful. Miss Kelly's normally at the desk answering the phone. Please do not pick up your student before dismissal. It is so disruptive if we have parents coming throughout the day picking up students. Now, if they have a doctor's appointment or something going on in the family that's an emergency, obviously you call the office, we have them ready. But our attendant policy is teachers will reach out. So if your student is missing 1 or 2 days, the teacher will call you and say, hey, I haven't seen Michael in a while. Where's he at? Is everything okay? If Michael's still missing after 3 or 4 days, I, as a school leader, will call you and call your house and say, listen, I miss Michael. Where is he at? I need him here. We have to develop a plan because I want to know if it's transportation, if it's something going on in the family. We want to be supportive. And then if it becomes chronic, if you're missing 10 to 12, 13, 20 days, I have to report that to the to the truancy office for chronic attendance. And so because they're mandated to be in school by state law, we cannot have kids missing 10, 20 days at a time. Again, it's not helpful for them, but more importantly, it's not helpful for us as we try to educate them. Probably on the 10th or 12th day, we will drop any students that are not in school of MMA. So if a student missed 10 days in a row, we're going to have to drop you, and then you have to follow up with the office for us to re-enroll you, because we can't just have kids on attendance just missing days, okay? This attendance is very important for us, and so I just want you to think about that and just be mindful we're here for support. We have an amazing program called PBIS. We have a lot of acronyms, but it really means positive behavior intervention support. And we are the Mustangs. So our expectations that our school students will come in their school uniform, that they will be kind to each other, they will try their best, follow expectation, be prepared, and have their homework / classwork completed. They have work plans as the Montessori model. And so when they're in class, they're expected to do the work, okay? And our model is MMA. So we want our students to remain respectful. We want them to maintain respect, I should say, make good choices, and always be safe. So we will be pushing that. When the kids are able to show us that they're doing that, they're maintaining, being respectful, making good choices, we have a thing that we'll be introducing this year called the Mustang Bucks. So that's a positive thing that we're doing. One of the things as parents, I know I do it too. When you see a child mess up, it's easy to just keep being negative. Why you do this? Why you say that? Sit down here. You know, as parents and as teachers and educators, it's easy to see the negative. The positive behavior program is really designed to catch them being, you know, great people as they are, making good choices so we can reward them. And I think that's really important that we do that so that everybody can take full responsibility of culture and climate. The students are just as responsible as the kids, I mean, as the staff and the parents, okay? And so I think it's important that we work together on these expectations. John, I see your hand, I'm gonna get to you. So this is a big chart, you all, but I think we will go over the PBIS program, the behavior matrix. I'm not going to go over it tonight, but I want you to know, in every area of the building, the students have an expectation. How do they maintain respect? How do they make good choices? How do they be safe? My job and the teacher's job is to take care of your kids. We don't allow bullying. We're not allowing fightings. We're not allowing disrespect. You don't take it at home. We're not going to take it at MMA. So we're going to teach them the first couple of weeks of school is all about what the expectation is in class. We're going to practice, we're going to teach, we're going to practice. And that's a part of the Montessori model, is creating a caring communication environment. And our kids are exposed to a whole lot. So if somebody hit me, you know, I've learned, and my mom used to tell them, hit them back. But our job here is to keep everybody safe. And so we have to teach conflict resolution, how to take turns, how to follow directions. How do we line up? We have a signal when we need our kids to have mouths closed, eyes on us. We're going to do a coyote sound, like mouths are closed, eyes on us. We're going to teach them different things and tools so that we're all on one community. We should not be yelling and screaming at kids. Kids should not be yelling and screaming at us. I don't tolerate that. I'm not going to allow child to be broken down, and I'm not going to tolerate my staff being disrespected by anybody. And I definitely know parents would not tolerate their child being disrespected by my staff. So we're going to be respectful and work together. So this is the disciplinary policy. I like to go over this. You know, honestly, most kids, you know, test the waters, but when they become 4th and 5th and 6th graders, you know, they're transitioning. So they try to push the envelope a little bit. They talking back. They worried about their friends doing on TikTok. It's a whole lot going on in our world because our kids are exposed to a lot. So, but the teacher will contact you, mom and dads, aunties and uncles, whoever's on that contact sheet, they will contact you. Teachers are expected to use interventions in their classroom. They're expected to build relationships with the kids, to learn the students. So they're going to contact you. Once a parent contacts you, you may have to, if it's continue ongoing behavior, it's consistent, not just 1 or 2 times, but it is consistent. Miss Wanda, who's our behavior specialist, she may reach out for you to set up a meeting, and we may have to develop a behavior plan. I was a behavior specialist / dean for many years. And what I've learned is when we work together as a family, as we work together, kids will be kids. They'll try to see how much they can get away with. But when they know that all the adults on the same page, they calm that down. And my staff is going to be on the same page. They have no choice. I'm holding them accountable as well as I'm holding myself accountable as a leader. So once you meet with the behavior specialist, Ms. Wanda, if we have to do that, the final meeting will be with me. And it's going to be serious if you come with me. I'm the bad cop, I always tell people, meaning that I don't play when it comes to discipline and being respectful. I believe that kids are amazing and they will do what you allow. And we're not going to take bullying. We're not going to accept any fighting. We're not going to be in the bathroom on our cell phones playing around. We're not going to destroy school property or items. This is our school, our community. We're one voice, one team, and they will learn, and we'll learn together as a community to make sure that we take care of our school and take care of each other. All right. So I just want to put that out there because I know that was one of the concerns last year in all the schools across the country was student behavior. And so parents, we need you to really respond to us. It's not that we're bothering you, but pick up your phone so we can come up with solutions so that our students can get what they need. And if they need additional social work services because they're dealing with something emotional, if they need additional counseling services or need an opportunity to just talk, we're going to do that. We're not going to just discipline them without understanding what the issue is, because all behavior is asking for something. Even when your kid is acting out at home, they're requiring you to, they want something from you. It has a need, right? So with that said, I'm going to go straight into dress code. I'm not going to go over this, but we don't have like a uniform shirt. They just expected to wear white or a light blue navy polo shirt. They can wear pants or skirt. It can be slacks or black, and then they can wear any comfortable tennis shoe, just no open shoes, okay? Because with the running, and if they have open shoes, they can get in a situation. If you need help with uniforms, we're more than happy to assist with that. We don't do hats, we don't do hoodies. All of those things need to be removed. No earbuds. I've already said no cell phones, especially with my older kids. I better not see them. The teachers better not see them because we're going to have to take them. They are a distraction. Unfortunately, we don't have access to the cell phone, so we don't know what the kids are doing. We have a phone in every classroom. I have a cell phone. We will keep your child safe, but we do not want the cell phones to be a distraction to their learning. So I normally will follow up with students that don't have dress code. If they're in violation of dress code, I follow up with the parent. I talk to the parent and try to work something out, okay? But we need all students in uniform. Some of the student support we'll be giving this year is that we're doing a social emotional program called Conscious Discipline. We'll have some Title I parent meetings, parents, so we can explain what that is. But Conscious Discipline is really teaching the kids how to breathe, how to be a superstar and take a deep breath and try to relax. It talks to the kids about expressing their emotions. It really focuses on like, why did you do this and how can we change it? And it also sets the class up to be a safe place. So a lot of kids will say, I'm being bullied, I'm being bullied. They're messing with me. But a lot of times kids don't know how to be assertive and use the language that I don't like it when you do this, right? So we're teaching kids through Conscious Discipline how to do that. That is a new social emotional program the staff will be trained in, and then they will roll that out in their classroom. We're also getting classroom management training called Time to Teach. We already use CHAMPS, so CHAMPS is going to be integrated with Time to Teach. CHAMPS really focus on the classroom structure, where Time to Teach gives teachers the tools, the language, and the strategies of how to really manage behavior in the classroom. And so I will be working with staff on both of these programs to make sure that we are doing everything we can to support our teachers, but more importantly, equip our teachers. You have to make sure that teachers know what they're doing. And we do have seasonal teachers, which I'm excited about, that's been doing this for a while, and they will be mentoring and helping our other teachers that may be new to this. But we also have iReady, which I've explained that to you, okay? So I'm talking a lot, but I hope, again, at the end of the presentation, you have your questions. And again, this will be on YouTube, so you can go back and review it if need be. One of the things that for parent involvement at MMA, you are going to be required to know that there'll be a blue folder. I don't know if you all can see that. Hopefully you'll see it behind my little screen. I'll take my blur off, but all kids will get a blue folder this year. And within that blue folder communication, you will see stuff go home. So every day you should ask your student for their blue folder. It's our way of communicating behavior and academic needs. It's a folder that should go home if you have something you want to send us. And then of course, we'll have paperwork in here that's important that you need to read and fill out. This is our communication folder as a school. Every kid is required to have it. Every kid is required to bring it back and forth to school every day. And again, you will get every weekly information about your students' behavior, where their academic goals are at, and how they're doing, those progress notes. We'll also be using SMORE, which is a newsletter that I'll send out weekly to parents on Remind. And of course, the teachers will reach out. Most teachers have Dojo. They use that as a parent to communicate. So once your child is assigned their teacher, the teacher over the summer, when we come back at the end of August, will reach out to you and give you that information so that they can find ways to connect with you about what's going on in the classroom. But we are doing blue folders. We expect parents to participate in parent-teacher conference. We expect parents to, ask the questions and do everything you can to make sure your students getting what they need. We have tons of events and activities. You're welcome to be a part of that. We also have a parent involvement committee where you can join. It's kind of like the PTO, and it starts in October. So you will have a meeting at the school. We want parent involvement. We're in this together. These are your children, and we're excited to have them. But without parent involvement, it is very difficult for these relationships to grow like we know they can with your students. And it's our job to challenge your child, and it's your job to make sure everybody is working on the same page. So the fact that you're here tonight and participating or listening to this, it makes a difference, because that means that you're prepared and you know what to expect for your child. And when children know that all the adults on the same page, they will get it together, y'all. I'm telling you, they will get it together. They're very resilient and they will follow through. So parent involvement at MMA is critical. And we've had some amazing parent involvement over the years at MMA. So we just want to strengthen that and continue it. So expectations, I'm almost done. Expectations, what do we expect on a daily basis? The doors open at 7:45. The students can and will get breakfast. We're going to have the same kind of drop-off procedure with the car line, when you you roll up in your car and there'll be staff to take them out. If you want to come into the classroom experience, you have to park your car and come into the building and check in. And I know for first graders and kindergartner parents, that's very important. We are going to have events over the summer where you can come in. Our school is kind of under construction, but I think it's important for you to see the environment that the kids are working in. And because of COVID, unfortunately, we've had to keep parents out. And so we're slowly trying to ease parents back in by being safe, of course, to make sure that our students are being supported by their parents, and the teachers and the parents are building that relationship. But please, when you get in the car line, please slow down in the parking lot. Students will have morning announcements. We will give you access to our YouTube channel every day. I will do morning announcements, and eventually I'm going to get our older kids, and maybe some of our younger kids will be brave enough to do morning announcements. But you can subscribe on McCone Montessori Academy and Second Home YouTube page and get to know, what we're doing with morning announcements, because you definitely can get that on your phone. The tardy bell is at 8:15. Now, not only do we need the kids to be there every day, we need them to be there every day on time. Again, they're missing chunks of information if they're coming in late. So please, please, please get them there on time so that they can get all of their learning in. I know it's hard with kids in transition, but if you get a routine going, it will work. Please contact the office if your information's changed and we dismiss. It says 3:30 on here because that's when we normally release the kids. Students and teachers will have 2 different pickups for K through 2nd grade and then 4th through 6th. We will kind of map that out. I might even do a video so you're confident in what you're doing. For parents that are returning, you kind of know this process. We do have some early Friday release days that will be at 12 o'clock. You will get the school calendar very soon, and I will let you know about the early release days on Fridays. We encourage parents to participate in school trips and events. Again, we want parent involvement. So you will see the school calendar. You will see all these things when you're available. We definitely want your support. And again, that academic learning piece, we want you to be involved in all of those processes. So I've talked about expectations. I've talked about behavior and positive behavior things that we're working on. I've talked about attendance. I even talked about Montessori and why we're here. But we're going to be doing some fun things throughout the year. We are having outside activities outside the classroom. We've already started to book trips and activities. Our students will be participating, that's in 4th through 6th grade, a day at the YMCA. It's a day camp. So all of our 4th through 6th graders will go to the YMCA. They'll do a lot of team building activities, learn how to make things, do all kinds of fun things that allow them to just be themselves with their teachers. We have to build community. And so they're going to have a day activity in November. And then we have tons of stuff like the hands-on museum African American Museum, the Nature Center, we've already booked. The Detroit Zoo, we always go to. We're doing the Apple Orchard this year. Little Critters will be coming to us in October, all these different exotic animals that we're introducing our kids to. It's important that our kids get exposed to things. Even going to the Cranbrook Museum, we've already booked that, where they will go to the museum, go on that campus, experience, touch and see and ask questions. The more they know, the more they can bring back. And so going on field trips is very important to me. And so as long as we can do that, we're going to do that. And again, participating from parents and working with the teachers is going to be very, very helpful. Again, we are doing after school programs. They will start probably late October, but we are trying to still work on sports. We're not really confident in our sports programs yet because we have to have the space to do it. But we will be doing clubs like Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, checker club, gaming club, cooking, art club, maybe some choir, definitely homework club, which we talked about, some drama and theater club. We try to start with our amazing teachers. They have tons of talents. And so I try to start there and really work with our teachers and see what they want to do after school. And then from there, we try to draw in parents. Maybe you want to volunteer to do a club. It'll be one day a week, right after school from like 3:30 to 5:30. We'll feed the kids a snack. And again, this is another opportunity for us to build community. We got to build community in order for us to trust and work together. So we will be having after school clubs and activities going on at MMA, and I'm really excited about that. Some things that are coming up is that we have the Jump into Kindergarten program coming up August the 8th through the 12th. You have to sign up ahead of time. So if you haven't already, go online at McComb-Montessoriacademy.com. It's on the first page. Click there, sign your kindergartner up. We also have our amazing annual Back to School Bash, which is August the 27th from 12 to 3. And we're doing it big. And, you know, haven't been able to do it as much because of COVID, but we're going to have several bouncy house, a train ride, water activities, food, ice cream. We've even ordered a game truck for the older kids and much, much more. Of course, our staff and teachers will be there, so you'll be able to meet them. It'll all be outside in the parking lot. Let's pray for a nice day, but not a hot day. I heard in the past it was really, really hot. So we're going to pray for good weather so we can all get out there and have an amazing time. We'll be able to break together our community. You'll be able to do some tours of the school. So I'm really excited about that. And we want the parents to come out with their students to enjoy that information. Make sure you sign up for Remind. We are on Remind. I sent out information. So I'm hoping some of my parents that came on tonight, you are signed up for Remind, and you could it's a quick text message that I will send you messages to. So that is the way you sign up if you haven't already. And last but not least, our first day of school is August the 6th. It is August the 6th at 7:45. We will open up the doors. I have said a whole lot and I am ready to answer questions. But here is my contact information. I have a direct cell phone. Give me a call. You know, I always tell parents, sometimes you get frustrated about what's going on, and sometimes it just takes a conversation. We want to support you and your families, but we cannot fix what we don't know. And that's the same thing with my teachers. If something happened, if somebody get upset, as their school leader, if you're upset, I don't know. I mean, you can go tell your coworker and that's fine. But if I did something wrong, if I said something wrong, I'm a human being. I can take responsibility. We can work together. I can apologize, or I can find ways to fix it, and we can move forward. That's what community do. You know, that's what we do. And so contact me. Let's talk it out. Let's figure out what the problem is. Our teachers at MMA are committed. They're ready to go. They're excited. Like I said, there's a lot of new, fresh things happening in the building. And so please, please, please reach out and let us know what the issues are so we can support you. All right, I am officially done. Make sure you like us on Facebook, and I'm going to start going to some of these questions. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for listening. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So if you have questions, put it in the chat, or I will allow you to talk, which means you're raising your hand. And what I can do is be able to make sure that you can hear. And yes, Tiffany, September 6th is the first day of school, not August 6th. We're not ready at August 6th. September 6th is the first day of school. So let me go in here. I had some hands raised to make sure that if I had anyone have any questions, again, you can type them in the chat as well. Otherwise, I will just call on you and you should be able to speak. Let me go to our first parent. DeCarlos, go right ahead. You can take yourself off mute.
How you doing? I was gonna ask, when is the deadline to sign up to kindergarten for that week of kindergarten class?
Yes, thank you for that. It will be Friday. We have to get materials. We're finalizing it. So Friday, it will be the last day to sign up. And again, it's on our website. It's a quick survey, and we will contact you next week to get prepared for August the 8th.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. All right. I'm going to say that name wrong. I hope I don't. I'm going to ask you to unmute and go ahead. There you go. Good evening.
Hi, was it Safara that you were?
Yes, I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure I said your name right. Good evening.
Hi. Okay, I have a couple things. How do I sign up for, I think you said Remind? And as far as the emails, I don't know if I'm on you guys' emails list because I don't get anything from MMA.
Okay. Well, I will do both. Basically, the sign up for Remind, it is you put in a number for your cell phone and then you respond. So what I will do in the chat, I will give you the information for you to sign up, which is just this presentation, really. It's the last page. And once you get to the last page, you'll see you have to put your cell phone number at the top. And then at the bottom, you put just like a quick like number. That's all it is. But I will put that in the chat for you so that you have access to follow the direction. It's an image for you to look at. And if you are on Remind, I don't need your email, because what will happen is that's kind of my main focus is making sure you're getting things on that. So you should get access to the presentation and click on there. Okay.
Okay. And then my last thing is I came in almost in the middle. Were you saying that they weren't allowed to have their phones at all?
For me as a school leader, I always say, no, you cannot have your cell phones. Now, do they bring them? Yeah, they do. And that's when I take them. Because unfortunately, if I let one have it, I have 10 to 12 kids walking around with cell phones. So my thing when I used to work with middle schoolers, because it was a big deal, it was a no cell phone policy. But a lot of them brought it and I did not see it. It was one of those things, right? So I'm not going to go through their stuff and all of that kind of stuff. I understand they need it when they have to go walk home or pick up and things like that. But if I see the kid take it out and use it in class, I am going to ask my teacher and staff to take that phone. I'm going to call you as a parent, put it in a locked cabinet, which I've always had locked cabinets, and have a conversation with you why they had their cell phone out in the middle of class.
Okay, yeah, that's my only concern for her having it because she walks home. So I want her to be able to contact me and let me know if she made it.
So we can work with that, just let her know, be responsible, keep it up. And you know what I mean? When she needs to use it to take care of business with you, I get it. We're living in days where we need it. It's just been such a distraction for our kids, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much. All right, I got a couple more questions. Someone from Neighborhood Connections, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't update from work. I apologize. This is Mia Sanders. And I just have a question. I know that there is a focus on just building that academic support from the loss, and that's definitely understandable. But my question is more so surrounding times of recess and play for kids. My son's been at the school for a couple of years, and there hasn't been any effort to try to for older grades, I should say, to bring some sort of outdoor experience for them. So are there any plans to help kids navigate that non-structured or kind of semi-structured time? Because it's important to me as a parent that those times are considered just as much as those academic and classroom times as well. So just again, to be clear with my question, have we started to consider kind of any upkeep or anything that we can add to the outdoor space so that kids are able to play?
Absolutely. So I'm so happy you said that. For me, when I first got there, I didn't see a playscape and I was like, oh my goodness, I got to work on this, but I can only take on so many projects. But I am looking to find a grant to to put a nice playscapes where 5 to 13-year-olds can play on. But what you will see this year is that we are gating the back where we normally would pick up our kindergarten kids. I'm gating it off because it needs to be safe. We're updating the basketball area. We're putting a bunch of stencil activities. We'll have water sensory areas. We'll have areas where they have scooters they can run around. For my older kids, I'm encouraging them to go outside and play. And teachers need to work with that too. That's why I booked that fourth, fifth, and sixth graders. I'm not sure what grade your child is at the day at the YMCA. They do nature activities. They do horseback riding, archery, zip lining, anything that you can name that's outdoors, to get exposure, because a lot of times they are not communicating like we used to. They always on their phones or doing different things, always, you know, trying to be a distraction with those cell phones. So I'm also finding ways that they can help and serve the young people, the younger kids when they're outside, right? So we do have recess for every grade. Every grade has recess. It's about 20 minutes a day, as well as we're really pushing these outdoor field trips. So we've already booked African American Center, African American Museum, I should say. We've already booked the Nature Walk. We've already booked Cranbrook. So we've booked a lot of trips. I tried to be extremely proactive so that it's on the calendar. And so when you get the information in the fall, you'll see all the trips that they're going on, and you just sign one form for them to participate in all those trips, because it's important, you're right, to be well balanced, and make sure that they feel confident. And if you have ideas, or if your child has ideas, I'm open to that. I will say we hired a wellness coach this year. Her name is Coach, and she's going to be bringing in wellness activities, Zumba, ways to move, healthy eating. So it's going to be some engaging stuff with gym. So they're just not running around in circles. Well, sometimes they can do that. So we are trying to be creative until we can get a nice playscape. But I think kids can be imaginative and they can work together in teams. But it's important for me as well. So I definitely hear you. So thanks for asking that question. All right. Does anybody else have any other questions? Oh, there we go. I will go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. John. Good evening. Good evening.
Hey, Miss Shanina. I'm super excited to see all of what you are bringing to MMA. Like, this is just like really, it's having my heart like beat out of my chest, like to come home and secure my spot at sixth grade. Like, I love it. My girls are excited. So, you know, awesome job. We were really confused on the dismissal schedule for third grade, because I think you said K through second grade and then fourth through sixth grade. So what would that third grade dismissal schedule be?
They'll probably go with the older kids, because we only have right now one third grade teacher and only one third grade class. So they will probably go with out that front door area on the side through the church. So it'll be third through sixth grade. We try to keep the younger kids, the lower and upper kids, on different sides of the hallway so they're not all running into each other at the same time.
Gotcha. Okay, and to take off my teacher hat and put on my parent hat,
Yes,
for
please.
my sixth graders who would be with me and would be moving from me to seventh grade, who may not, considering the demographic we're in, going into another Montessori school, how does Montessori prepare them for the seventh grade if they are moving from that concrete learning to that abstract learning where they're paper pencil as opposed to doing manipulatives? How would the teacher prepare them for that?
Well, that's some of the training that we're going to be doing with our teachers, moms and dads that are on here. So a lot of our kids come in and they don't understand the Montessori model, and that is okay. What I find is our kids are extremely resilient. And once you model what you want, you teach them first of all, but you model and you set up those structures and discipline, they tend to fall in line. And it's easy for them because a lot of times they like to have things in their hand and figure it out and have those discussions. It's just making sure we have progress reports. So if a kid is struggling with the concept of that, that, like you said, more of a concrete to an abstract transition, the teacher really will have to sit down with the parent and try to understand. We don't have we do have paper and pen. Don't get me wrong, we do, because they need to learn how to write. but we really try to help them work with the manipulative tools so that they can problem solve, so that they can move pieces around and think about in community, how do we solve this together? I have all these tools in front of me and I'm trying to work on something. So we are giving training for staff, and then they need to roll that out. And then we have Miss Ann, who's a coach here, and she will support the teachers with the students with that as well. All right, thank you. I appreciate you. Mr. John is our 6th grade teacher. Shout out to him for that. And he has 2 beautiful kids that are coming to MMA. All right, I'm going to keep going down here. Go right ahead. Anaya, is that how I say it? Hi, good evening. How are you?
How you doing? I'm fine. I wanted to know more about the resource because last year, as you said, through COVID, my nephew, he's kind of behind because of COVID. He missed a lot of days of school and his teacher changed 3 times last year.
So
I feel like he needs to be into some type of resource program.
So what will happen with all our students coming in, because I know it was a rough year with different transitions of teachers and COVID, they had to be in and out because maybe they were sick or something. All our kids will be assessed. We take a test called the NWA, and it assesses where the kids are at, right? So if they are learning below their grade level, they immediately will get intervention. And that's when I talked about the math and reading intervention. They're going to be put in small groups, like a caseload, where those reading and math specialists will come in and give additional instruction hours.
Why do you still have that on and I pulled you out?
Okay. So that will allow them to be able to get additional help because they lost of the learning. And we will, obviously anybody that's getting interventions or additional help, they get a letter sent from our school saying your child is in an intervention program. This is what we're working on. And then we want you to reinforce that at home through practice. So we will assess them and follow through with you to let you know where they're at. You will get, an opportunity to ask questions as well. That was a really good question. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right, Amanda.
Hello, I'm Jacob's father, Tony. I'm sitting with Amanda.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, our question was, one of the slides noted that Fridays would have some early dismissals, but in previous years, Monday through Thursday was 3:20, Fridays were 1:20. Has that received an overall change going into this year?
Yes, sir, it has. So we have, with our lateness, we looked at our attendance and we looked at our lateness. So we moved school from 8:15. Well, the late bell was at 8:10. So we did I think it was 8:05. We moved it to 8:15 is really the start of school. And then at 3:30, we're releasing. So it's a 10-minute difference. And then for me coming in as a leader, looking at the attendance, and this will be rolled out because the board will approve this with the full calendar. That's why you guys have not had access to the calendar. We are not doing early release every Friday. It was a lot of loss of learning and a lot of kids did not come on those Fridays. And so we are moving it where it will be some Fridays, at least once a month. I don't have the calendar in front of me, so don't quote me. And they will be leaving at 12, and parents will know ahead of time because it'll be reminders and it'll be on the calendar. But they will not have early release every Friday. And many of my staff are on here. This is their first time hearing it. But it's important that because of the instruction hours and things that were going on and looking at the overall attendance, we had a lot of kids missing on Fridays. So that was an indication for me as a leader coming in. It's very difficult for my kid to be picked up in the middle of the day when I'm working, I'm going through something as relates to providing. So we are keeping the kids on those Fridays at regular times of school. And you will get a copy of that schedule as soon as it's finalized.
And then one small question as it relates to Fridays. Would Friday still be the day that they're welcome to wear their MMA shirt versus their uniform?
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
That was all of our questions. Thanks for putting this on. We actually learned a lot as you did all of this.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you all. I look forward to meeting your little one. I've heard so many great things.
Oh, yay.
Thanks.
Thank you so
Love
much
it.
for saying that.
All right. Thank you for your question. All right, Bree, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Hi, okay. My son, he will be coming to kindergarten. He's coming from second home, actually. His name is Daquan. He's very excited to come back to school. He asks me every single day. I just wanted to know when I would be able to bring in his health appraisal for registration.
Oh, fantastic. You can bring it in. We're open Monday through Friday from 8 to 3, and Miss Kelly will be at the front desk. And you can bring that information in and we can update his enrollment right away.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. That was my only
Is he
question.
signed up for jumping to kindergarten?
No, actually, he's not, but I do want to sign him up. I do actually want to do that.
Oh, that'll be great because he'll meet some of his friends that he probably already know from second
Yes, I
home.
know.
And then he'll meet some of the teachers and do some fun activities. So when you're there with the health appraisal, whenever you turn that in, the deadline is Friday for jumping to the kindergarten. You can always go online and do it.
This Friday?
Yep, this Friday is our last deadline day because we need to make sure we have enough materials for all the kids. So
Okay.
sign up online, but if you come up between now and Friday, you can do it in the office as well.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
No, thank you. I appreciate you for answering that. All right, is Deshawn? Did I say that right?
Hello.
Good evening.
I am the mother of Morgan, who will be coming in from second home to going into kindergarten, and also the mother of Duran. Many people know him. He's been there since third grade.
Okay, excellent.
This year. So I heard someone come on, Mr. John, who you said that was going to be the sixth grade teacher. So are there going to be more than one sixth grade teacher, or is it just the one?
It's just the one sixth grade teacher. You know, we're a small campus. We're pushing right now about 240, 250 is our goal. And so right now we only have one sixth grade class, one fifth grade class, one fourth grade class. We don't have the capacity of another classroom to do another sixth grade classroom.
Okay, no, I just wondered. My son, Miss Latoka was his teacher before, so he really loved her. So I was just trying to
Miss
figure out.
Latoka will still be around. Yes, she will. And she has so much amazing energy, and she was great last year. So she will be around working with the kids, but she will not be the sixth grade teacher. Mr. John will be this year.
Okay, I just told my son that. So, but I like all the great things that you're talking about with forthcoming for the school, especially the clubs and things like that, because my son loves to do, more things after school. That was good. And then hearing that they'll be there Friday later, he may not be happy about that. But as a parent, I am, because that did interrupt our work schedules.
It does. They'll get used to it, mom and dad. At first it'll be like, but anything that you change, you just push forward and we'll make it work. Before they know it, it'll be time to go home. So I appreciate you saying that out loud, because as a parent, you do have to make so many sacrifices and they need to be in school learning.
Yes, I appreciate it. Well, thank you so much. Looking forward to working and seeing you.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, a couple more questions. You had another question, DeCarlos?
Yeah, I wanted to know with the after school clubs, will it be a different club every day or every week, or how is that going to go?
So the way I normally do it, just because of transportation and make it convenient for parents, I do one day a week. So it may be Tuesday clubs, and all the clubs stay after school. So we have different rooms. We have 11 different rooms. So we might have 5 or 6 different clubs, depending on what we get signed up. And so they can pick one club to stay after school once a week.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep. That's a great question. All right. Brianne, are you there?
Hello?
Yes, I'm here. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good.
I have a question. So for on Fridays, when they have like dress down days where they can wear their uniform or wear their regular clothing or whatever. Well, if they wear their regular clothing and without wearing an MMA shirt, they would pay $1. Is that still the case?
So I haven't even thought about dress down. So I'm going to have to pause for the question, because in the past, I know that has been the policy. To be honest with you, I always start out with school uniforms, and then probably in like October, November, I started to let the kids dress down on Fridays, but I always connect it to positive behavior. So you can earn a ticket for the week to dress down. I don't let everybody dress down because I feel like it's a privilege and it's a sting for them. They want to wear their gear, their drip, whatever they call it, right? So you have to show that you are responsible. You're doing that MMA thing. So I always connect it to behavior. I still have to have some amazing conversations with my staff on what that looks like. But for me, dress down is something that you earn. That has always been something that I've done as a principal, and it actually works because the kids really want to dress down. And so they work together in those classrooms to get it done so that they can come together on Friday with their nice gear. So I will get back to you with a letter explaining the dress down policy as soon as we make final decisions on that.
Okay, and then one more thing, like in the past, like, of course, if you pay $1 if they did dress down, but what did that dollar actually went to?
So I know in my school in the past, we put it towards like treats that we bought for the kids. We might buy things that the kids may need. We might save it up for trips and things that may be coming up. And that's another thing, like paying towards dress down, what does it come from? So normally when I do ask for money from parents, I tell them, you know, this is to save up for a trip to cut down on the trip costs, or this is to save up so we can go buy whatever the 6th grade class wanted, right? So I try to let them know what that money is connected to.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for asking that. That's really important. All right. Miss Michelle, hello, good evening.
Hello, and hello to all these wonderful families on here with Shanina. This was phenomenal.
Thank you.
The reason I want a 1 second home is still enrolling. So if you guys know of any 4-year-olds, send it my way. And also ask for the question that was just asked about the dollars. They did go towards field day and some of the field trips that the kids went on towards the end of the school year. So they did get put to use and put back into the building at the end of the school year.
Thank you, Michelle. Michelle worked really hard last year, so I'm so happy she answered that question. Thank you, thank you. And yes, we are enrolling for second home, so please, please, please pass the information along. Thank you, thank you. All right, let me just see how many more people have questions before we close out. I'm here to answer as many questions as I can because I want to make sure everybody is comfortable and walking away understanding what they have to do. So, here we go. All right, Rayshawn, did I get that right?
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening. So my daughter, she's in kindergarten. I just wanted to know if we're not able to walk them to class ourselves, will we be notified when they do make it to class?
So this year, you should be able to, especially the first week. I get it as a parent, especially with those kindergartners.
Yeah,
I get it. But I want to warn you that you shouldn't stand at the door, Mom. You just got to wave and keep it moving because you know they'll start clamping up. I encourage parents for the first couple days to, you know, show them to their locker, wave them, meet the teacher. But on that 3rd or 4th day, give them the independence to do it on their own, right? Because they're so safe for you. And then they'll, unfortunately, some of them start acting out. They'll start crying and wailing if they see you standing there too long. So we definitely want to give that opportunity for you so that we can do it in a safe manner. And we want to build community. It's important that you meet the teacher. It's important that you see your child's classroom. And so we're okay with you saying hello. Thank you so much. Call me if you need me anything. And then I just tell parents you can't stay long. We have to push you out after a while because otherwise they get real attached real quick.
Okay, thank you. Oh, and also for the first graders, would you guys do that for them also?
Yeah, if you have a child, you bring both of them in. I know a lot of times the drop-off line has always been our thing. Because of COVID, we've had to limit that contact. But right now we don't have all these restrictions and guidelines. If the restriction and guidelines change for COVID, it may look a little different. But of course, as the leader, I will let you know that ahead of time, okay? If anything, you definitely will come masked up, right? To make sure that you're safe and other people. But right now, we don't have any in Macomb County over-the-top restrictions where parents cannot be involved to come to a class and drop their kids off.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for asking that question. That's important. All right. Mr. John, did you have another question or comment?
Another comment really fast.
Okay.
Drama Club 2022, 2023. Be prepared. I'm ready for it.
Yay! I heard you and all the parents heard you now, Mr. John. You're going to bring that drama. I'm so excited. So for those that don't know on the call, Mr. John, who's our 6th grade teacher, has a strong background in drama and theater. So thank you, Mr. John, for volunteering. I can't wait to see that. Thank you, thank you. All right. Let me see. Is it Maddox? Did I get that right?
Yes. Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. My son is Christopher Maddox. He's been there since preschool. He's going to the 3rd grade. So we've been there since the beginning. But I just wanted to know if mask is a required thing for the kids this year.
So as of right now, the Macomb County area does not require it to wear masks. However, you know, as a parent, you know, if that changes with the coding, I have to change and move. So we have to do what the county does. I recommend it. COVID is not going anywhere. So it's one of those things that is not, I can't mandate it because I'm in a Macomb County that says I can't, but I do encourage parents to do what they think is best for their child.
Okay. And then as far as the parents being involved, are we able to sign up or are we working directly with the teachers as far as involvement?
So I would always reach out to the teachers. They have their own dojo points, but if you want to go on a field trip, that's a teacher thing. If you want to volunteer at the school, contact the office and I will work with Miss Kelly.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. You guys are great. I have another question.
Hi, yes.
No problem.
So my daughter heard you talking about the after school programs and she saw the list and she is super excited. But I was trying to get clarification. You said that it would be 1 day a week for the after school
right
programs?
now it will be 1 day a week from 3:30 to 5:30. Unless it's some type of like sports program, which we're still finalizing, they have practice more than 1 day a week, and then they normally have games on weekends. Or if they have an afternoon late game, but we're still trying to finalize that because we don't have the field space to do all of it. But I would love to offer soccer, baseball, or softball to our kids, basketball. We're just looking for the space so that they can practice. So we're trying to get with Detroit Think Pal, or we're trying to work with the Macomb County residential like rec club kind of clubs.
Okay. And as far as the uniform, I was looking on the list. I was given a list when I first registered her. So for the 4th graders, there is no black polo shirt. It's only white and blue.
So yes, I don't know where the black came from, but it's normally white, blue, and let me double check as I'm looking at this. I can look right at the presentation. I think there was one other color.
Yeah, the list that I think her name is Kelly, she gave me, it had black and navy blue polo.
So if Miss Kelly gave you that and it was in print, that is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, because she probably have the most up. Yep, it's navy blue polo, button down, blue, light blue, white. Yep, that's fine. It was black slacks, but not a black polo.
Not a black polo.
But a navy blue polo will be fine.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate your question. All right, Wanda.
Well, Carrie, I gotta turn the other ones back in.
Wanda, are you there?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I am great, and hello to all of our families that have joined us today. I just have one quick question. Mrs. Maddox hit on it a little bit. It's concerning COVID. What would be the protocol this year if you are exposed to COVID or if someone tests positive for COVID?
So we follow the Macomb guidelines, and I can put that link in the chat for people, or you can go online and kind of Google it. So from Macomb County, they say if you test positive, you do have to stay home and quarantine yourself for 10 days. And so that is what it is. If you test positive, that means you have a positive case and we know you're positive, you have to stay home. So for our students and staff, you know, we're coming up with an educational system where if they are at home, if they're sick, they're sick. They shouldn't be doing schoolwork. I'm just going to put that out there. They need to take care of themselves and the staff. That's a priority. But we do have excused absences if you are legitimately sick and have that. We also will put in place where if you're exposed, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to stay home, okay? If you're not vaccinated, you have to be isolated for up to 5 days and watch your symptoms, okay? And it's always recommended that you wear a mask to keep yourself safe and others safe. A lot of people are vaccinated, some people are not. It's not mandated to get vaccinated. So it's important that we all keep each other safe. So we still will be doing hand washing. We have our little dots in the hallway to try to keep kids 6 feet apart. We'll continue to do that and educate the kids about how to keep their space. We'll do everything we can to make sure that we're informing parents of if your child is exposed, we will communicate that to you immediately through a letter and a phone conversation. So you'll get a letter from me as the school leader, but also the teacher will reach out to you and let you know your child was exposed. I will also be entering like a test to stay. So if your kids go home for 2 or 3 days and then you test them to come up to the school and I test them, my wellness coach, I'm hoping to do that. They'll test them and then they can, if they are negative, then obviously they can come back to school. So we're trying to keep kids in school as much as we can, but safety is number one. Let me just say that. Safety is number one. And our job is to keep people safe. So the policies we follow through Macomb County, and we follow those and we have to track every COVID case on our website, as well as we have to turn those numbers into the state and make sure that we're all on the same page. I hope I answered your question correctly, or if you need more information on more than, I'm going to send something out the beginning of the school year with all the COVID policies, because I'm waiting for what the state has to say, what the county say. So if I say something now and then COVID is like really low, but if COVID gets out of control again, which I hope it don't, then I have to change it all together. They might mandate masks for everybody again. So we're liking that fluent up and down, but my job is just to keep everybody abreast of what is happening and get that information out to you as soon as possible. Miss Tiffany.
Good evening, everyone. My question, will the school be providing masks for students, and will we still be doing daily temperature checks?
So right now, if a student needs a mask, we're recommending that the parent provide them a mask, okay? But if a kid forget or a parent don't have it, we do have extra masks because that is something we have to have. But we can go through so many masks, right? So I really need parents to work with me, making sure if your child is wearing a mask, you make sure you have at least 2, one on their face and then one in their backpack, because the accidents do happen. And then as of right now, Miss Tiffany, as of today, there is no temperature checks. That does not mean that's going to change by the time we open up the school.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for asking that. Anybody else have any questions? I'll look in the chat really quick. You all have been so amazing. Yep. Is there blended classrooms or will there be single level classroom? Lisa asks. So this year under my leadership, this is something that we went back and forth with. Should we have split classrooms? Should we have single? We are doing single classrooms. So if your child is in 4th grade, they will be with a 4th grade teacher, all 4th grade students. If they're in 5th grade, they're in 5th grade with all 5th grade students. I'm just coming in and learning the Montessori model, understanding, training my teachers. And so for me, I need to get in front of them learning that one standard. My teachers learning that standard and teaching those Michigan State standards to your kid at a 4th grade. Sometimes when they have split classes, that's hard for a teacher to do. And because we're still training our teachers and working with our teachers and equipping them, I want them to be set up for success. So this year, I can't promise that in future years, but this year we will be single grade level classes. I don't think I have any more questions in here. I'm looking through all of these, you guys. Will they be able? Okay, yep, the health appraisal, I answered that one. Someone said they didn't receive the email. I think I got that. I can also send that presentation in here for you too. All right, I think I've answered all the, oh, I have one more here. Go right ahead. Oh, not that one. Go ahead, ask your question. I'm not sure how to pronounce. Oh, there you go. Good evening.
Good evening. I want to know if the tutoring program, if your child having maybe some issues or some help, they need some help in the class, maybe like science, math, whatever it is, if there's tutoring program that can really assist them?
So we will have an after-school tutoring program, but it won't start until like the late fall. But your student will be assessed in the fall. Like we sit down and test them and see where they're at. And then if they need help, we have reading and math specialists where they will work with your child in small group, maybe with 3 to 4 other kids, and they will try to help the child learn where their gaps are at. If your child, after working with them for a couple of weeks and they're still struggling, we do have other services, which is kind of like we do what we call in our world like the tier learning. And then we'll get other people involved, whether that's the special ed team, to see if your child needs to be evaluated to get additional services to make sure that they don't have a learning disability and other things. But we really do have that tier 1 services through the teachers. And then we have reading and math specialists that will also help the student as well. And then the biggest thing is communicating with the teacher, right? And making sure that your teacher understands your student learning style and keep checking in with that teacher to make sure we support that student the best way we can with the learning tools that we have. And if we can't, then we can give you resources outside of school they may need that are free, that we can participate if you feel like they need tutoring, additional tutoring on what they're learning at school.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. You guys got so many questions. I love it. All right. Couple more questions here, and then we will close out. All right. Go right ahead, Brianna.
Okay, I have one more question. Is Mr. Joe coming back this year, the social worker?
So we have Mr. Ben that will be our social worker. Mr. Joe is not coming back as our school social worker. So we have Mr. Ben, and then I am in the process of looking for another social worker.
Okay.
Yep. But your student was working with Mr. Joe?
Yes.
Okay, so we can talk offline. And of course, I still have a really great working relationship with a lot of my colleagues with Mr. Joe to make sure that your student can connect and communicate with myself, Ms. Wanda, and Mr. Ben, who's also there to support the students as well.
Okay, I forgot about Mr. Ben, but I've been mainly working with Mr. Joe. Like I didn't even know Mr. Joe and Mr. Ben was even there until like late, like literally month of May. That's when I found out you guys had a social worker this year, actually. And I'm like, where have you guys been when my son really needed, the help? So Mr. Joe couldn't like really, be there the whole entire year. So that's why I'm just asking, would there be another service this year? Because that was helpful for the 1 month.
What's your student name? Can I ask your student name?
Jaden Hughes.
Jaden Hughes. Okay. So we can, if you don't mind, I'll call you this week and we can talk offline to make sure that we come in with the right plan. Okay.
Okay.
And make sure those needs are hit right away, and make sure that, we can talk to the teacher, make sure the teacher know what's going on with your students so that we can set up some strategies to make sure that he feels comfortable.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
No, I appreciate you too. Thanks for mentioning it. All right. All right. Well, we have one last question. I'm going to let Mr. John close it out. I want to thank everybody. Please contact me anytime if you have any concerns or issues. I am here. I'm so thankful for this opportunity. And then please be involved in any way you can so that we can get things going this year. Mr. John, you got some closing statements for us?
Yeah, I talk a lot.
I love it.
You got to get used to it. No, I'm so happy to hear that Mr. Ben is back this year. I don't know if he ever left, but when I left, he was there, and it's so great to know that he's gonna be back when I'm back. But my question was more so for a 504, my girls, Zoe, Joelle. They have invisible allergy or invisible disability. So they have severe allergies, and I'm just really concerned, and I'm sure my wife, Mrs. Griffin, who's on the line as well, can appreciate this question that I'm asking you all about. the protocols about food allergies and communicating with parents and posting things about what they can and cannot eat to make sure that they're safe, because it could quickly turn into a deadly situation for if, in fact, they're in the building and it's peanuts in the classroom or fish being served or somebody's packing fish or
Right.
peanuts and different things like that. So what are the protocols and the safeguards for that?
Well, we're a peanut-free school. And so in the beginning of the year, we really promote that. We do have a lunch program that, because it's designed by the state and our menus have to be approved by the state. It's a long process. So there's no fish, no shell, no peanut on our school menus. If we have a student that bring it, I normally have that parent, call the parent, let them know we're peanut school. I have to take this from your child. They can't eat it because of severe allergies, not of just your child, but other children as well. So I try to put that up. We do have signage saying, no, we're a peanut-free school. A lot of it's just in the beginning of the year communicating that. And as we see it, we address it immediately. If there is a situation where your kid, which I never want to see this happen, but if they have a reaction, we do have trained staff, Ms. Kelly and myself, that have EpiPens, in which we can administrate that if allowed by the family. They would have to sign off. We do put in Power School. There's a little flag if your child has an allergy, so the teacher is aware they have an allergy. Sometimes the parents forget, so we put it in Power School if we have to communicate that, say another teacher's out, or if I don't know, now I know because I can see in Power School that your child has an allergy. But a lot of it's just communication. And then when we see it, we, jump in front of it right away. Not that the kid did anything wrong. We just have to let them know that they can't eat it right now because of other people's allergies. And most parents are very respectful of that. They understand it and they try not to send their kids with those kind of things. All right. Did that answer your question, I hope? All right. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you guys. Miss Amanda, you have one more question. Go ahead. Or maybe your dad.
Yeah, it's actually Tony again. I was wondering if there would be any advanced communication sent out about drills that were conducted at the school. For everyone's protection, safety drills they happened last year, but our student was particularly frightened by some of it because he's very new to all of that and has no understanding of the craziness that's been happening outside of us. Is there any type of letter that would go out ahead of time this year so we could kind of verbally and mentally prepare him of the things you guys would go through up there?
Yeah, so you will get a part of your welcome packet, your school schedule, a supply list again, the fire drill schedule, as well as our calendar events activity. So I put it all in the packet of the folder. So when you come to the back to school bash, you get your folder of information. Thank you for saying that. We are getting security cameras put in the school as of next week. There will be cameras all over the campus and in the hallways. For me, safety is first. That's just the bottom line. And so we had to put safety cameras in the front door entryway and all over the school to make sure the kids are safe. I need to see who's coming in. We replaced all the blinds because it was too much. I couldn't see who was coming in and out. So we've done some cosmetic things to make sure that kids are safe, but we practice drills and make sure we walk the kids through it first. And then we roll it out as, okay, we're going to try this for real so that you're prepared. I always encourage parents for kids that may be overwhelmed by that. That might be your volunteer day, right? And you come up and walk your child through that. It's very scary when you hear an alarm go off. But if they know that you're part of that process, we encourage that participation as well to make sure that we're all on the same communication. But those drills will be rolled out to parents. I sent a remind you, we're having a drill today. And then we practice those drills together as a group. We shut down the whole school and practice it. And then the teachers will have a follow-up conversation like, how did the drill go? Do you have any thoughts and feelings? So they can process with the kids as well.
Oh, perfect. And thank you.
Oh yeah, anytime. All right. Hello.
Hello, I just wanted to make a comment and say how excited I am to work with you this year. I really appreciate all the changes you have made, and I know all the parents will be excited, and I just wanted to welcome you aboard and thank you.
Oh, thank you. That's our amazing TA. I appreciate that. That makes my heart warm, and you guys have been amazing as well. Well, I want to thank you all for your time and your energy tonight. I know that we all have things to do, so I don't want to hold you up, but I thank you for just writing it out tonight. And I hope you have an amazing week. Again, I am here if you have any questions. We have an amazing staff that will help you along the way. But please reach out and have a wonderful evening.